Donovan Mitchell. I always like to say this. He's super underrated in terms of his craftiness and his footwork. And if you wonder how players are able to make moves like this so quick, it's because they just played a lot of basketball. And that's the only way you're going to develop good reflexes, good in-game reflexes, is by playing a lot of basketball. You can't just go to the court hoop by yourself and put up some cones and do some drills and whatnot and think you have good reflexes. Boom. No, you can't. Because you never know what can happen. You never know what the defense could do. And so especially in this situation like right here at the top, Grimes has got to do a better job of getting up into Mitchell and leading him to the screen and not beating him to the screen. Because notice he jumps it. That's a split-second decision that you make in basketball. You can't replicate that with cones. And then you see Mitchell Robinson come over, and then you see this little gap. Another split-second decision. The only way to develop these reflexes and this skill is by playing basketball. Bro, and mind you, Jalen Brunson is 6'1", and he just got this over Evan Mobley. He's a footer. And so anytime you'll see him get into his ranges, he shoots everything with the lean, and his touch is super soft. And now you're like, how do you identify a soft touch? Just look at the ball's velocity as it goes up in the air. You're going to see a lot of Jalen Brunson shots kind of hang in the air and sit there because, one, it has a super high arc. And then when you do have a good arc, that ball is going to be super soft. It's have a soft touch. So, boom, that little bump as well creates a little space off Mobley. Anything Jalen Brunson does, it involves some sort of creation of space. Whether it's a bump, whether it's a little move, here, right there. And then watch that ball. It just hangs. Goes down. Seeking contact. Seeking contact. Anytime you drive, seek contact. Because even though you may hate this foul, if you initiate contact, it could forcing that player that's guarding you to fuck up. Hey, now, anytime you see the two best players guarding each other, it's always fun to watch. I love to watch it, bro. Anytime. I love to watch it. Watch the touch and watch the space creation, his navigation. He's always going to find his angles, and this is what I feel really separates Jalen Brunson from Julius Randle. Because Julius Randle, he's going to settle a shit ton. He's going to settle a lot. Jalen Brunson, he's like, nah, I'm putting my head down. I'm going to get to my spots, and I don't care what you're going to try to do. Because whatever I'm going to do, that shit's going to end up working. I'm going to hit you with, if I need to, 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves. I'm not saying you should do that. Learn to do one, and then after you do one, maybe add a counter, add another counter, and that's what Jalen Brunson's able to do. So boom, stops. Lamar Stevens is what, 6'7"? Over the top, and watch how the ball just hangs in there. Super soft touch. And by the way, make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on notifications because we drop breakdown videos daily. And if you want to catch my breakdowns live, make sure you go hit that link in the description, go follow, and let's get right back to it. So now Mitchell wants to pick up. Mitchell picks up, right? Great defensive possession, but you're going to see a lot more of Mitchell guarding Jalen Brunson later on this game. Stay tuned. Seeking contact once again. He felt that arm, went straight up. You could hate the game. You could hate players drawing fouls all you want. But this is a foul at the end of the day. And it's not going to happen unless you drive and you seek contact and keep all your angles sharp. Keep all your angles sharp. He feels that arm go straight up. Mitchell on Barrett, mid-range. Peep this, though. RJ Barrett tried his best to get to his left hand. Donovan Mitchell just stopped it. Notice the split. Playing that middle. He's making sure he does not get to that middle. Because he gets to that middle, he gets to his left hand. So you're going to see Barrett try to boom, try to spin, try to drop, whatever. And Mitchell's not going to let that shit go. He ain't letting that shit slide. Staying on that middle. Nope, you're going to your right hand. You're going to your right hand, and we know RJ Barrett don't got no right hand. Boom, right there. You see how he tried to turn, and he got his leg up underneath him? That just stood him up one time. Then he does it again, stood him up again, and as soon as he stood him up that second time, he pokes that ball from behind. And then not only that, ended up getting the stop as well. That's great defense by Mitchell. Hey, Grimes adjusting. You know, he didn't try to beat him to the screen. He kind of tried to stay over, get over the top of that, but he just broke his stance. I see the adjustments. I see he's realizing what he needs to do, how he needs to improve guarding these ball screens. But boom, now he breaks his stance. and then you break your stance, he hits you with that bump, he gets into space, and now you out of there. So anytime you try to get over the screen, try to keep yourself lateral, keep yourself thin, then try to get over it. If you get that bump that hits you straight on from your chest and not from like while you're still in that sprint position, it's going to be a lot easier to recover. Now he just gets to his spots, and his touch allows everything to go through it. Peep. Over 7 foot Mobley, and that's why all of these just be straight net. Just boom, soft touch. So lets it drop. Lets it drop. Notice this. Notice the gap. Like, say you're coming this screen right here. What gap would you say you'd want to make this pass? Maybe between the legs, but the one that really is like, okay, this is how you should throw this pass is over the top. Because you got Mitchell Robinson low with his hands dropped. You get that ball up quick, boom, hit Mobley, right? But then this is the adjustment by Mitchell. And this is really shows you what makes great players. Literally, this is the next play down. Same ball screen. Now he finds the angle. Now he finds the angle. Then boom, Darius Garland with the dunk. You think some of these little dudes don't got no bounce? They for sure got bounce. That's great patience, because notice that weak side help and how they're rotating this, right? So boom, this help comes off RJ Barrett. Donovan Mitchell's coming off this and reading this help and seeing that, okay, RJ Barrett's the one that's coming over. So we can't throw this lob pass because Barrett's already ready for that. So he keeps it and he holds it, and Brunson's not really helping in too much because he's got LeVert in the corner. So boom, he holds it, stays patient. Mitchell Robinson doesn't commit, and then Donovan Mitchell gets up into his floater. Then Mitchell Robinson literally no hand at all. He was not trying to commit to that for anything. That angle. That's the thing with the spin move. A lot of people make this spin move and get into that pickup and then get wide. You got to make that spin and be sharp on it. Especially if you're trying to get to the rim, you got to really be sharp, like Mitchell is here. Boom, he cuts him off. He's still going in a straight line on that spin move. Still attacking that rim. Unless you're trying to get into space and maybe get a floater or whatever. But if you're going downhill and you want to get into a spin, you've got to stay in a straight line on that angle. Don't try to step wide and get out. Make sure you spin and literally like you're still in that same line that you're driving. Really notice this right here. He's right here, right? He's going to take these 2 steps on the spin, and he's straight on with his rim. Notice how that little bump that he gave to LeVert forced Mobley to come over and step up and help. He makes that bump to LeVert because now that he got space, it makes Mobley think, okay, he has more space. He's going to pull this shot. So, boom, he's like, okay, he gets into his gather, gets his head up a little bit. But instead, he uses that attention that he brought from Mobley to make a play to Mitchell Robinson. Gets through that gap, drops it down to Robinson, gets the 2. Ridiculous. That's a dime. That's a mean dime. And a lot of great scorers get overlooked as passers because they're good scorers. But most of the time, great scorers are also great passers because to be a better scorer, you got to know how to pass. So you'll see a lot of dimes get dropped by like a Donovan Mitchell or Tatum, Kevin Durant. Any of those scorers, name them. Like, we already know Luke is a great passer. But you'll see a lot of these scorers drop a lot of dimes, but you don't really peep and don't think of them as a passer because they're so good at scoring. And now Brunson's starting to Brunson maybe just realized he was like, okay, is Mitchell my matchup I want? That shit was getting ugly. Once again. Tell you that pace. Peep that tween though. Peep the size up. Boom. That shit's nasty. And boom, I want to say this about the other play, going back once again. Going back to this play, though. The first one. Going back to this first one. Is this first one? This one right here. About Brunson. He's going to come off any shot he takes, he's going to need to get separation because he's so short. He's going to need to find separation. So, boom. Little side step. So, if you're a smaller guard, find the separation moves that you like the most and then run with them. Once again, Mitchell, bro. Hey, 2 can do the same, bro. Mitchell likes to drive, get the contact, get up into his fouls. Jalen Brunson do the same. Doing the same, bro. Well, now Mitchell coming back and he attacking Brunson too, bro. I love this matchup. I love this right here. And the fact that we're gonna be able to see this in the first round, most likely, is crazy. I'm waiting for it. So boom, he twists that screen at the last second. And the only reason Mitchell was able to get this split is because Brunson was late on being able to get to that side. And now he gets out a little too wide and Mitchell finds that gap in the middle. Splits it. Then once again, you only develop those reactions by playing basketball. So if you're scared to go get some runs in, you ain't gonna be able to do this stuff in the game. Boom, once again, he trying to get Brunson. He tried to get Brunson, but they guarded it well the first time. Try to get this first one. Good job by Grimes to stay over, and no need for Jalen Brunson to do anything. So now, boom. Brunson tries to send this double. Mitchell continues to work his way a little more so to that middle, and then boom, he gets that sideline. And notice, he makes his whole skip pass. And now you're like, how the hell nobody even realized that coming? Because he didn't sell it with anything. He didn't sell it with his eyes, especially. The ball can't really sell in this situation. It's really the eyes. And so anytime you get downhill, you can't just try to look at one thing and try to make a play. You've got to be able to look at one area and use your peripheral to read the whole floor. But a lot of players have a tough time being able to do that because they like to see one thing and try to look at that. But there's too many variables and too many things going on in basketball for you to sit there and just be like, okay, I'm just going to focus on this one thing. Because you focus on one, you're going to forget about the 20 other stuff that's going on the court. A 7-1 Mobley once again. Peep his navigation. Peep the navigation, right? Peep the navigation. A lot of small guards, they know they're small, but how are you going to leverage you being small and use it to your advantage? So the way you could do that is leveraging your size and being able to find these gaps. And once you do find these gaps, you can get into more gaps than the regular wing player can. And so peep this gap that Jalen Brunson gets through. Boom. You see how tight that gap is? And how low he also gets that dribble. It's not just about your body getting through that gap, it's with that dribble. But since you're shorter, you can hit a lower level if you're strong enough. So make sure you got good range of motion, good strength in those range of motion. And then boom, also be able to guide that ball through those ranges as well. And then the separation move. Just the stop and the little pump fake. Then he brings that ball out, soft touch over the top. Over a footer. Now peep the timing of that pass by Mitchell. Peep. He didn't throw that pass until he got in front of Quickly's lane to be able to go and close out. So now this puts Grimes in a position where it's like, damn, now I got to go because he's got Quickly all the way up underneath him, and he has no chance of being able to get that. And Hart is on his backside as well. So all he does is, boom, throw that pass right back to Garland. Garland gets the knockdown. Hey, if you're a smaller guard, you better get yourself comfortable being able to shoot going backwards and shoot with the lean and being able to have a good arc and a soft touch, because that's really the only way you're going to be able to score from these ranges as a smaller guard and get a good set of separation moves and then get some counters on top of them as well. ISO in the mid-range with Lamar Stevens ain't no problem, bro. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. He's always going to set it up. If you don't set up your moves, especially as a smaller guard, you're just probably going to end up getting blocked. But Jalen Brunson, every move has a setup and some sort of separation move to finish. Then boom. What's his setup right here? This little spin right there. Because that little spin, that little hard dribble makes Stevens think that boom, okay, he's gonna try to go and attack that rim. So he's gonna drop back a little bit in anticipation that he drives, and then Jalen Brunson boom steps back. And then he gets that lean, gets that soft touch over the top, good arc, knockdown. Bro, that navigation, bro. Oh my gosh, if he finished that off. Good thing Hartenstein saw that, they got it right back. But peep the navigation though. First screen comes up, right? He rejects it because you reject a screen when the big is already on one side. They have no help until that next layer down. So it's not until that second level of help that the on-ball defender has someone to help him. So he rejects this. Boom, snatchback. Hartenstein's like, okay, now I got to go help. He tried to reject it. And so he sees the two of them once again, and he rejects the double once again. And so Hartenstein kind of stays in that same spot. And then he moves Grimes over a little more because he rejects it. And then boom, he creates himself another gap for him to be able to make that go move and be able to get through. That's great navigation. If only if he hit this. And that boom, that little Euro step to find that angle. Damn, that's tough. Loki could have called a foul on that one too. God damn. It's the balance, bro. It's the balance. And then also peep that ball placement, because there's just something that could be super little. If you don't get that ball in the right spot off that snatchback, that would have been a strip by Josh Hart. Because peep this. Look at Josh Hart's hand. You see how close he is? Literally centimeters away, probably. But boom, he brings that ball far enough back into his pocket, into that snatchback. And he has the strength and balance to be able to get into that snatchback and create space on the off of Josh Hart, who's obviously, as we know, a strong player. And then he creates all that space, and not even just that. Look at the finish. Look at the shot. It's like he's shooting a catch and shoot jumper. And he gets his feet set. Follow through hold, knocks it down. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. If you see Jalen Brunson or a player like Jalen Brunson's size running to protect the rim in transition, it's most likely he's going to try to get offensive foul. Most likely he's going to try to get a charge, bro. Because he's just not blocking you, bro. There's only chance of getting the stop is getting that charge. So you should prepare yourself to be able to say, okay, he's going to stop. Boom, I got to be prepared to change direction. Maybe try to get towards that outside shoulder so that if I do go up, it's not going to be a charge and they'll call a block. And have a chance to get that and one. Now, that ability right there, what he just did with that spin move, instead of trying to seek contact with it, he kind of hollows himself out from that contact. Peep. Because a lot of times you want to get into these spin moves when he got him downhill, then hit him with a bump and then spin off. But if he hits hard with the bump right here, that's going to be a charge. So he gets towards that hip and then spins right there and can still get to that rim. Hey, Jalen Brunson wanted that Donovan Mitchell matchup, and this makes me even more anticipated for this first round series. Even though neither one of these teams, let's be honest, they ain't gonna get to the finals, they ain't gonna get to Eastern Conference Finals, and they're 4-5, so they have to beat Milwaukee. Oh no, it's grits. Chalk it up. Go be prepared for the offseason. All right, let's be real. But this makes this matchup even more anticipating, because not only that, the Knicks were supposed to get Donovan Mitchell. They were supposed to get Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell said he went to sleep one night and was like, okay, I'm going to be a New York Knick. Then he woke up and he was a Cleveland Cavalier. So now you got the Cavs playing the Knicks in the first round, and you already seen this dynamic between Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell going at it. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. And you see Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, in the Garden. Oh my gosh, he's about to turn into a villain. Even though that's his hometown team, they're still going to boo the shit out of him. He gonna kill. He gonna kill. So Donovan Mitchell needs to be prepared for this matchup with Jalen Brunson, because clearly Jalen Brunson likes his matchup. So Mitchell, as a defender, you've got to say, okay, I'm gonna step up to it and I'm a guard when he does want to try to exploit me. Angles. You get off this screen, you see a hard hedge, you want to go in the tag, right? You want to go in the tag. You do not widen your angle for anything. You see a player in this drop, somebody just trying to show, you go in attack. Because if they try to stay lateral, you going straight downhill, they may get a blocking foul. In this situation right here, Donovan Mitchell just lets him go right by because he has no chance of being able to stay squared and stay in front. I still need to check that out. I need to find some time. Then boom, he's searching for Mitchell again. It's another one, bro. This really put some tension, really built some tension, because I know Donovan Mitchell and the type of competitor that he is, and we see that he is. He's gonna take this. He's really gonna internalize this matchup right here and realize that, damn, I was getting picked on, and I'm not gonna let that shit happen. I ain't gonna let that shit slide. So going into this first round, especially losing this last game of the season against the team that you're about to get matched up with, Donovan Mitchell gonna take that shit serious. He gonna be locked in, bro. He's going to be locked in. Trust. And mind you, neither of these teams are at their full strength. Hey, Jalen Brunson at 48 right now. He tried to go and get 50. Nah. Nah, he ain't hit that 50. He ain't get that 50 piece, bro.